Brown Girl Banter.
Hey, Brown Girl Banter.
We're here. I'm Dr. Dangerfield.
I'm Dr. Patience.
And this is the month of March. And the first shout out we want to do is say Happy National Women's International Month. Like it's like Women's History Month. So celebrating women all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the amazing marks that we made in history.
I know, it's really cool to see. I don't know if you all are on all the social media things and follow certain ones, but it's so cool to see in your feed how people do different ways to celebrate this month. And so it is really, I love this month. It's really cool because I learned a lot of new things.
Yes,
that I
we
definitely did not know.
Right.
But hopefully, generations after us are getting that knowledge and implementing really cool things. So celebrate our women. That's important.
Yes.
So that's exciting.
So tell us how you're going to celebrate you and your friends and the women in your life, and then also put in the comments a woman that has impacted you.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
Put that in the comments. Tell us who has impacted your journey, your history, your walk as a woman.
Hey, okay, I'm going to challenge you. You can't give them the assignment and not take it on yourself. I know there is a multitude of women, but give us...
Did I ask her?
Give us one. Give us one. We can't tell them to do it and we not do it, right?
Well, I was going to put it in the comments.
Like, is this her posting in her own post?
Right. I was going to put it in the comments. Let's see. Like you said, there have been many. If this is the person that I say most definitely that has impacted my journey and my thoughts about being Oprah Winfrey. That's my girl. People say different things about her, but if you look at my vision boards, if you look at people I've been following for years, she is the person. And I think it's because of how she's able to bring people from different walks of life together.
That's very true.
That sometimes you don't think come together. And so, and that really was like something that just like really hit home when I was able to see her in Atlanta. And I'm like 12,000 people in this place. And it was people from everywhere came to see her and to hear her talk and to just be part of the experience.
I love that. That's super cool.
Yeah. So for you.
Oprah. So for me, as you were talking, I'm thinking to myself, we're going to have to do this over the course of the month because there's just too many women to like name one. And so one, I want to go fictional, like not a real person, but somebody who impacted me. And then later I'll shout out other people. But I'm going to tell you, Claire Huxtable.
Okay.
Let me tell y'all why I choose Claire Huxtable.
Okay. So is it her, was it her role or actually is it Felicia Rashad?
Right. So maybe it's Felicia's ability to bring Claire Huxtable to life.
Yes.
And let me say, growing up, we had our mothers who we adore, right? And who we will shout out, I'm sure, at some point this month. But I think seeing an image of a successful African-American woman raising her children in a real way, like how my mama talked to me, not in this way that wasn't, that was very television. It was like Vanessa going to the Ratchet concert and was supposed to, and getting in trouble, and being able to, really display work-life balance. But when work-life balance wasn't working, I think she
when she took some time off.
When Cliff had to make her own room.
Yes.
I think that there was just to see that image, this healthy black marriage with these children who some took the path and some didn't. She just really personified where I was like this strong, assertive, but still loving and kind, representation of a black woman, a successful black woman. They had clips of her in the courtroom, clips of her at home. You just got to see her in so many different aspects as a grandmother. And I was just like, yeah, you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I need to be her. Like,
Yeah.
I need to be her, right? You know, I need to be
You'll be
educated, and I need to be a mommy, and I need to be a wife, and I need to people to
Need
fear
all
me
that.
a little bit, but love me
But
as
love
well.
y'all in the same.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like just that character
Mhm.
and seeing that every week on TV really did something for me.
Okay.
I love that. I love a woman with presence. Man,
Yeah, and
like,
she had
walk into the room and bring some presence.
Yeah, and it
I-
wasn't that she was like, when she came in the room, was like,
Mhm.
It was more like you felt.
Yes,
felt
and
the-
I mean
the weight
they
of
were
her.
cultured. I mean, it was just
All of it.
all the things
Yeah.
that you were aspiring to be.
Mhm.
And so I went to a black university. Like, they were just my thing, and
Yeah.
so I love them. So if I'm shouting out all the women out there that are Claire Huxtables, you know,
That's who you are.
that's who you are, finding a way to make it work. So
Yeah.
that was cool.
So don't forget to leave yours in the comments. Don't forget.
Don't forget, we'll be looking at them and we'll respond.
We will.
Trust us, we will.
We will. We'll be looking for it.
I was
So
gonna say, yeah.
this month's
Mm-hmm.
episodes, we're going to talk a little bit about women in business and our own journey as entrepreneurs and our decisions by why we decided to make the leap,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the gaps, and then
And I think like a really big reason we wanted to do this was because a lot of our,
Women History Month.
besides that, right, is that I think we encounter a lot of, in our field too, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but
Oh, yeah,
we
most
encounter a lot of entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah, even though they may not call themselves
Mhm.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, are you doing a 1099? Okay, well then.
Yeah, you are entrepreneur.
So, and I think we are engaging with so many more in so many different aspects.
Yes.
In real estate, you know, creative, artistic
yes, the
people.
creatives.
I mean, business. It's just been so many different
It's growing.
avenues
Yeah.
that I have been having the opportunity to run into women.
And to engage with them and connect.
Who are entrepreneurs, which is amazing. Lucretia's about to give you a really cool stat. What stat did you give me earlier?
That there's 2.4 million women of color that own women-owned businesses. But the other piece is that the number has increased. They say over 164% over the last 10 years of African American women of color minority-owned businesses, and the majority of them are owned by women.
And that's amazing.
Yes, so it is.
It's amazing. And so I think that is probably why I'm running into so many right now.
Because more and more are jumping out there to really become entrepreneurs, to own things, one, to help to close that gap, especially when it comes to wages, because we know that as women of color, we are still some of the least paid in corporate America. So trying to just survive and to bridge that gap. And so a lot of women, they have, and I don't know what the stats are on, like if it's like on full time compared to, you know, your side hustle, what they call your side hustle.
Yeah, and I don't either. But if you know, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
We love fun facts. That keeps us going. But yeah, and I think that is, because we run into that so much, we feel it worthy to discuss.
To have a conversation
especially our journey with that. Lucretia stepped out on her face a long time ago, way before I was ready. But I think that it is inspiring, the story behind in which you decided to do that, and how you, I won't say she pushed me, because that's not true.
I empowered and encouraged.
I was going to use the word encouraged. I'm going to use the word encouraged. She definitely encouraged me to decide what I wanted my life to look like. And if that's what I wanted to look like, then what was her favorite phrase? She said, "What's your exit strategy? What's your exit strategy?" So pushed me to really define and develop an exit strategy for my what's next, and I'm very appreciative of that. So we'll start with her, because I think I want her to empower and encourage y'all. Yeah, for your next steps. So tell us a little bit, Lucretia, what made you, make this transition into entrepreneurship?
I can tell you, probably for me, I have always known that I was gonna own my own business.
Okay.
Didn't know what it was gonna look like, but as a teenager, I always did like side hustle things. So my first thing was I sold Christmas cards. Like they had this magazine, and it said you could sell Christmas cards and win these prizes. I started selling Christmas cards. The next thing is I sold shoes out of a catalog. My favorite customer was my granddaddy. He would buy the shoes. They got delivered to his house, so they were good shoes.
Easy does it.
So I was like, I like this whole thing. And so kind of drove me into, like, as we probably talked about before, it's my whole thing of like, I was a business major. And so I knew I wanted to do some type of business. And if you look in the back of my my yearbook, it said I was going to own an architect business. Then don't ask me why.
Really?
Because I was not even thinking about going into architect. I was going to be an accountant.
Maybe they put yours wrong.
No, I said it was my writing.
I'm like, maybe they got it wrong in yearbook class.
That
was you.
That was my writing.
Okay.
I wrote it. And so, I don't know, I guess I figured I would own it, but somebody else was going to have to work there because that was not my major.
That's so interesting.
But yeah, so, and it goes back, in which I had to, like, some years later think about it, because like what you said to me, she said, you are a builder of people. So maybe that was a message from God saying, you're going to be an architect of people.
Maybe
and not
so.
buildings.
Of not buildings.
So,
no, I haven't seen you draw a building ever.
No, cannot.
Ever. Never.
Will not see me draw one. But then, coming into this profession after working in corporate America, for me, it was a no-brainer. I was going to own what I considered my private practice because, one, that's the journey that they teach us. They don't, which this is probably one of my soapbox moments, but we won't go there. But they don't teach us another journey outside of private practice. So if you don't go into private practice, and I found this with a lot of the counselors that I supervise and work with, is if that doesn't work, what am I going to do? And the other thing is the expectation, and you may not even want to own your own private practice, but you feel like you're supposed to. And so for me, it was like, I knew I wanted to own a business, so I knew that I said it's going to be a private practice, which that's why I've struggled in being in private practice, because I realized that private practice was not the way that I saw business. So the model, the way it's set up, I've always wanted to create some form of empowerment and wellness business for women that was not a lot of one-to-one service, that it was more, more expansive, and how you impact your community. So I took the first leap in 2013. Yeah, May of 2013. May 1st, 2013, I remember turning in my keys to the person that took my place at Family and Children's Services, and I looked back, but I didn't look back because for me it was like I don't have another option. I gotta do this.
Right.
I gotta make this. So I've done some things. I went back and done some contract work. I worked for somebody for a whole 3 months, and I was like, no, still not what. So I'm supposed to own my own business. So. Like I said, 2013 made the leap. Still been out there, and yeah, I do push, especially women of color, to own a business, either part-time, do something, because you never know when your full-time gig may turn into a no-time gig. People have control, and see, that was my thing. It's like, you're controlling my destiny, you're controlling my money, you're controlling whether, like, one day you can come in here, especially coming from corporate America, seeing how business work, like they be in business one day, and then the next day they come in, shut the whole thing down, move to another country, move to another state, because that's what happened to me when I was in the business arena, when I was transitioning into counseling. They came in one day, and I had already had been working on my master's, they came in one day and was talking about, we're about to move y'all's whole department to Florida. So that means people are going to be out of job.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. That's because because I had already started making my transition into another profession. So I was like, I was transitioning out anyway. So, but that's what, like, kind of helped me is like tell other women, it's like you need to have your part-time or your full-time something, and it's like a lot of times it's about purpose. And and I've sold Mary Kay, I done done Mary Kay, I done party lights. That's how I knew. Like,
see, fun facts about your people you don't even know. Like,
I've done those things because it was about
you're doing fun lights. Like, let's go.
I do because it was about I'm in my own business.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah. So I just jump out there and I do just like, and so I'm forever pivoting and changing the business that I have now. Yeah.
I know, because it's hard when you're, what's the word I want to say, like ambitious, right? Because ambitious and have our profession to me is very broad.
Yes.
And because it's so broad, you could find a niche in a lot of places.
Yes.
And so it's like, how do I take all these skill sets and narrow them down into something, like this one thing? And I think that has been a struggle for you, I know, because we talk each other through it. And then I be running from all my responsibilities, which we'll get to in a minute.
Run from my calling.
In
so many different things.
Dr. Danger, fail. So I think that there is this, in our profession, we're kind of, we're the youngest of the like kind of psychology profession kind of thing. It is really sometimes difficult to find where your place is in the world as far as
where am I supposed to land?
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to land?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, and again, like you said, it's master's level definitely is private practice or bust to me.
And I hear so many people say that. It's like, oh, I gotta do this because I gotta go into private practice, and then I'm like, you sure about that?
Be sure. Be very sure.
And the ones that decide, that feel it inside of them to say, maybe private practice is not for me, they have some sense sometimes of failure or guilt. When they say, I want to work for an organization, I want to work for, we need people to.
We do.
Everybody can't run a practice.
Please don't.
No, because a private practice is a business, and that's what they don't teach you. They think you're just going to go do counseling, and you're not going to have to run a business.
Exactly.
But that's a whole different conversation for another day about how to run your business.
How to run your business. And so I think that is one of the things. But I talk to people in a lot of health professions, healthcare professions, and they say that, like, I'm in, medical school, nursing school, whatever, and there is no business course.
No.
But there's opportunities for me to have a business.
Yes.
So there is this disconnect. So are you expecting me to have this doctorate in, be a medical in medicine,
whatever,
and go back get my MBA?
And that's what you find a lot of people doing. They're going back either to go get an MBA or they're having to take some business courses somewhere, because in our community there's this organization that does the business academy, or we have the Entrepreneur Center, those different places. That's why they pop up, because to help people process it.
I know, it's something. So it is I don't know, our profession, I don't know about the other ones out there. I can speak really, to ours. It definitely is broad, and it definitely is missing a couple of courses that would probably be very beneficial.
Especially if you're going to teach private practice or business. You need to teach people how to do it.
That is so true. So yeah, that's very interesting. And fun facts, I didn't know you were like this side hustling since you was little. You want Christmas cards, Father's Day cards, Mother's Day cards. I got them. I didn't know you was out there doing all. And shoes, y'all.
And
she was selling shoes that got delivered to your door.
Yeah, you look in the catalog, you pick it out, I place your order, you pay for it, they're delivered to you, and then I'll come back around and see how it fits.
your grandpa was like, I got you.
He said he would buy them. He loved them. And then when he would buy them, other people would buy them because he would say they were great.
See, look at that. I can't take her. But that's fun to know. So my journey for that was definitely different. Okay, so I'm going to be very honest and transparent here. A lot of days, y'all, I don't know what I want to do.
You're not alone.
But that has been my story. I think that I am definitely not a very like through person, right? I don't sit down and plan out my life or foresee things. Like I kind of am a windblower, people. And I don't say that to say like you
But
won't.
that's hilarious for her to be an Enneagram 8.
Yes.
To be a windblower.
I am a windblower.
That's hilarious.
It is. But once I kind of get, and I think it's this, I'm gonna really be like, this is what I think. I think it's because once I land, I go hard in the paint, and it is overwhelming and stressful. And so I feel like, yes, if it's like, it could be any, like, oh, you want me to do what? Oh, you want me to do this bulletin board? Okay, right. And so then it becomes like, you know. And so I have to keep at some points light because once I have committed to and so, like I tell Dr. Andrew all the time, like I don't like to be in a box. Like I can't be in nobody's box. Like don't make the moment I feel you are putting a thumb on me or like committing me to something, oh my gosh, I am like, wait.
Then she gonna move.
Yes, I will. Because there is like you got to give me space to do it, and you got to give me space to do it well. You can't be all over my shoulder while I'm doing it, while micromanaging doesn't work for me. And so I am just very, particular, and like if it doesn't look or feel the way I feel it should, then I kind of got to do all this introspection. Like, is it me or is it the other person? I got time for all of that. So that's probably why she was like, "What's your exit strategy, girl? You can't work no more because you just
It was working inside of corporate American nonprofit was not working for Dr. Patient. And I saw that. I was like,
not my calling.
I was like, what's your exit strategy? We need to think about next steps for you.
Yes. And so I think when I was getting my master's degree, I definitely was thinking private practice, but I feel like that is what is drilled in.
That's what's taught.
And so that was all I had the vision for. But of course, I think there's also this culture within our profession that says you got to pay dues. So you go into some kind of agency work and it starts like and I'm not going to say case manager. We need every single case manager that we have. Which kind of started like this clinical care case management position and kind of work your way up and understanding, treatment and things like that. And then you go ahead and do private practice. I feel like that is the model.
Yes, that is the model which we're taught. Yes.
And so once I started doing that, I was like, okay. So I worked in agencies and I never ever felt content. Like it was just always this, I gotta put in PTO, like you telling me when I can go on vacation, right? Like what? Right? And so it just felt boxy. And I love the work because I love to develop things. I love to like be in there and help you build something. I don't have to stay for the whole thing now, but I will.
She just want to help you build it.
I will help you build it, but I don't want to stay. Right. So that kind of thing happens. And then even in situations where I wanted to stay or I loved building it and I felt there was more for me to do, again, back to this, you got to give me space to do it. You kind of got to, not be over my shoulder. So there were these kind of incidents kind of running around. And so when I got into the doc program, it's definitely when I feel like they do introduce new options. Like, come to this consulting class, and oh my goodness, there's this. Come to this education, teaching class, teaching higher ed. Come to this, leadership and what, supervision and leadership looks like. And you're like, oh, wait, what?
So it's more things out there, but how many people, which the numbers are growing, but how many people actually go past the master's?
Exactly. It's rare. I mean,
they're like, I'm getting my master's and then do what I need to do to get licensed because I'm supposed to go into private practice.
And so it really, I'm going to be honest, it wasn't until my doc program that I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't have to be bound by this, what they say I have to do.
Right.
And so I was doing that. And then I was like, maybe I want to teach. I want to be a professor. Oh my gosh, that's so my personality, right? Developing and growing these young minds or old minds, whatever you are.
Whoever's there.
Right. And so that was kind of part of it. And so, but at the time I was working too. And so Lucretia was helping me through some licensure stuff. And man, I think I was crazy. Like, I probably was crazy. I would come in with a story every day. I'm sure I've told this story and like vomit all the things out to her and then go and be like this great employee or try to be a great employee. I don't know, maybe I wasn't. But then, so she would always say to me though, like, what is your exit strategy? Because I just didn't feel like there was any work-life balance. I didn't feel like people were getting the best version of me. I didn't feel empowered. You know, I just felt like I was hitting challenges and barriers every time. And then I was also stuck in that whole like, and you gonna tell me when I can take a vacation? Like,
that was probably the comment that she would make more times than not.
Like,
Was
you
like,
work
so they
me.
trying to tell me when I can take a vacation?
Right, you work me, then you gonna give me like 35 hours of vacation time?
That don't work for me.
Come on now, this is ridiculous. So I just was like, I need some options. And what I've learned throughout the years is that my time is valuable to me. And I think that like
that's
overarching piece of it is what pushed me even more into going into my own business and kind of figuring out what do I want that to look like. And so through kind of exit strategy conversations, 1, 2, listening to somebody who did it and took the risk or the leap of faith and saw how God worked or, you know, was amazing to me. And it gave me confidence to believe that I could do that for myself as well. So it was the options being presented finally, seeing someone doing it successfully and realizing I wasn't being the best version of myself. That said, okay, patience, you have to make some changes here. This is a trust God process. And so I believe Dr. Dangerfield gave me a time frame, like what day? And I had to commit to a day to resign from my job. And if you're watching this and you were my boss, then you know
She's like, you know what? I was just sitting thinking, I'm like, it's a lot of people that are my friends that once they hear this, they're like, so that's why my people are leaving. They receive supervision or like that are my friends that I empower. They're like, I don't know, when did you going into business on your own and leaving us?
She'd be like, what day? Okay, I'm gonna call you this day. I want to know that you turned in that load. I was like, okay. So, and I'm so glad. I mean, I am so great. 2 years later, I'm grateful for that. And so, resigned from my position, and then she's like, okay, you got to finish up that doctorate. That was number 1, and in the meantime, what are you going to do with your life? And so I believe I was nervous. I mean, I'm like, what if nobody wants to come to me? What if, you know, all these what ifs of what does this look like? You know, in any business you have to put money out before money comes in, and so I'm just like, what am I doing? Oh goodness, I'll just stay at home and take care of my kids or something, you know, like but I've tried. My husband's like, you try that and that never works. And I'm like, you're right. So I better get it together. And what I realized is that when taking a leap of faith like that, one, there is definitely a trust God process that it is most huge.
You're going to being an entrepreneur teaches you about your faith.
Yes, it does. It does. And I think the other valuable piece is having a bomb support team.
You have to.
Watch the people you keep around you. Those who are constantly pouring into your dream, your hope, your vision. And
then get rid of the people that are sucking out of it.
Exactly.
Don't listen to them.
It is. And I think that you know, having that was what kind of encouraged me to make that transition into it. And now I bounce all over freaking town, contract work, but I love it because it gives me my time.
But the funny thing is, this is what she would say is, I just need some contracts where I'm not tied to anybody.
Hey, you hear
me?
You hear me?
I'm working. And now, what is she doing? She's doing what she says she wants to do.
Look at God. Won't he do it? So I think that and my time. And I think that is, you know, I will grind, you know, 3-4 days straight. And then I'm like, the rest is invested in my family, like,
Yes.
and me. Like, I'm not giving, and that to me has been so freeing and so valuable and so important. And so that it made whatever fear, whatever challenges, whatever fussing I did in her office for weeks on end, well worth it, because I think that while it has its challenges, it has just been, you know, maybe a lifesaver for me and my mental self.
Yes.
Personally, you know, flighted people like need that, right? But when I'm grinding, I'm invested,
That's
I'm
true.
in, I'm focused, but you know, I need that space to woo-side, and especially with what we do, right?
Yes, you have to be
The
able to
stories
step
you
up. You have to be able to step away from it.
It can be very overwhelming. So, I mean, that's a little bit of our story about kind of how we got here. So, what's the name of your business? I know it. They want to know.
Yeah, I want to know. Actually, the overarching business is LV Dangerfield LLC, but my coaching and counseling services is Reimprint Your Life.
That is what it is. Reimprint Your Life. You got it. That is exactly what she does. I love that. And then mine is counseling with patients, because you know, play on my name. And so I love that.
So easy to remember.
It's so easy to remember. And so I think that, I mean, she was on to y'all. Let me tell y'all. Hold on. Let me tell you the story. What are you doing? When are you getting to space? Oh, okay. What day? All right. Okay. Are you going to sign a contract? All right. Well, if I sign this contract, that means I'm committed forever. Okay. Go sign that contract. What are you waiting for? Okay. What, you working on a website? When you going to release that website? When you going to let people know you seeing clients? I was like, I don't know. Let me get it together. I mean, I would not probably be doing what I'm doing. Had this chick right here, and I'd be like, what? Give me a day. You told me that last time we had lunch. You told me that last time at breakfast. What are you doing? And I'm like, okay. And I mean, it definitely kept me focused. It kept me from running, because so many times I was willing to run. Like, I'm not doing it. Forget it. It's not. I'm too nervous.
Yeah, when you said you had commitment issues, I was like, come on down.
Got my tail all the way together. And
But you do the same for me, because my challenge is always landing and staying, because like I'll say, okay, Patience, this is what I want to do, and then I'll tell her, and then the next time I'll come back and say, well, I thought a little bit more about this, and this is really what I want to do. And so, but then she said, this is what you do well. And I was like, okay, tell me. Because I can tell other people what they do well, but sometimes being able to see it. And she's like, you are a strategist. You are a strategist. You help people with strategies. And I'm like, that's exactly what I do. I enjoy helping people with strategies, because especially strategies are going to help them build their lives, their business, leadership. I like that.
I tell her all the time, like, you're my project manager, of my life, right? So she gives me timelines, due dates, and pushes me to get the project done, which is what I need. And so, and she's great at it. And I tell people all the time, like, Dr. Dangerfield is probably, okay, if you haven't noticed, I'm a little spicy. So Dr. Dangerfield is probably one of a few people who can say something to me and I'll receive it and not take offense. Because a lot of times I'll be like, who are they talking to? I can't hear. But I have like her, my friend Eva. I just got on the phone with her a few minutes ago. She'll get me all the way together. Like, there's just few friends I have that can like get me together, and I'm like, okay, you're probably right.
And she knows we're doing it out of love.
I mean, and for me, you have to kind of do it the way they do it, or I'm going to just look at you like, and not do anything.
Yeah, it's all out of love.
So yeah, but I mean, I think one of, like, if you had to identify, like, maybe one of the biggest challenges you've had, or some, like, maybe not even just one, some of the challenges you've had in this whole process, what would you say that would be for you?
One of my biggest challenges, I would say, is getting from the mindset of being an employee to actually the entrepreneur, the leader of my own business. Because when you are an employee, sometimes you're looking for you always were looking for somebody to weigh in on or tell you what to do next. But as an entrepreneur, you're the ones telling yourself what you're supposed to be doing next. And so it's funny, I had this conversation with my business coach, and I was laughing. I was like, yeah, because I've been waiting on somebody to tell me what to do next or looking for permission to do or make a change in my business. And she was like, it's you.
You are the one.
She said, you're the one that gets to tell yourself that. She said, you're not by yourself in it. She said, I do it all the time. She said, sometimes, she said, I was sitting over there talking about Carrie. You need to... Carrie, you know you can do this.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I get it, but used to like going somewhere, the structure and getting used to that is like, that's probably been one of my greatest challenges. Like, okay, you're not the employee, this is yours.
That makes a lot of sense. I get that. I think my biggest one, I would call myself a bungee jumper entrepreneur. Okay, so
you think it's a cord holder there?
There's a cord. So I'll tell a patient like, oh, I got a contract to do this, or I'm in a group practice with a group of therapists to do this, and she's like, yeah, but what about your own, right? And I'm like, right, because that's a bungee cord, right? See, if I'm with all these other people, then I get to like, right? There's that connection or that thing that can snap me back to hold on to. And counseling patients, it's me, right? So that's no connection to anyone. And I still ask me, y'all, have I really put that website out there? Tell me, have I really posted that office space in Brentwood? Sorta. And I think that's the bungee in me, like, and I'm the Lord is on me. He on me about it. But like, I have to, if you're going to do this, patience, and I'm going to not lie. I think the fear is the ability to set healthy boundaries, because I said to y'all earlier, when I go in, I go in. So if you open up the floodgates and show the availability, like, I then have to be willing when it gets too much in my family or I get to at risk to
be able to set the boundaries,
to tell people
say
no.
Yes.
I'm full, not taking clients or whatever it is, no more, and I have a tendency to not do that. So I'm like a bungee cord person. I need some kind of security to tell me, like, go out there, but know you can always bounce back up here where it's safe, not pushing myself out there and just really doing that. And I think that is an internal thing that I'm, working through and trying to, have conversations with myself to know, like, when it's you, and you're out there and you gotta grind hard for you
to do it. And like something you said, and like, see, for me, I learned about like the whole boundaries of how many clients to see. When I would hear people saying that they were seeing people 7 days a week, I never want to work 7 days a week. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't want to work 5. So I'm very good at knowing like my numbers. I'm not gonna have more than 20 people on my caseload. I just talked to another one. Okay, I have more than one coach. I have another coach that keeps me really focused on goals. And we talked this morning, and she was asking me my numbers. And so when I was giving her the numbers in each area, she was like, so you're almost at capacity. I said, yes, which means I'm not going to be able to accept new clients because I will be over my number, and I have to keep a balance for me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I have so many friends who like aren't even counselors. Like my one friend, she's an event planner, and I have another friend who is like has a bakery kind of thing, and like that boundary setting just goes across the board, right? Like, I'm not taking another wedding, I'm not taking another event, I'm not taking another blah, 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 I'm not taking another order, and we do it because we can't say no, right? That's our stuff. We can't say no,
and that's a counselor thing, but also a thing as being women.
As being women, like and then I want to sacrifice all the things to get all these cupcakes or cakes out, or to ensure I do 2, 3, 500 person weddings. Like, dude, we gotta say no because I'm calling you and you are exhausted or tired and can't function. I think a big thing, yes, I do believe that as entrepreneurs there is a grind season, right?
Yes.
Like where you just grind it and you gotta just deal with the facts of that. That's what that's gonna look like. But as you grow and develop the willingness to kind of step back and say, okay, when is the cup overflowing? And I gotta take some time for me during that, because that's why I believe we go into our
That's why
business for ourselves anyway.
Right, that's freedom.
And so now we drowning in our own stuff that we created.
Right.
Like that doesn't even, that kind of goes against the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a really big thing. I think the other thing is, and I was reading this, Council for Professional Women, I don't know, it's an article I was reading that talked about like another challenge is revenue, right? Like,
yes.
Or like getting loans or getting the money to build or develop something, and a lot of that is out of pocket. And so I think one of my other challenges was just the fear of spending.
Yeah, which that happens.
You know, like, oh gosh, you know, like when I'm gonna see this money back, I hope I get this money back.
And in return, it will.
It will. But I think that is where those business courses would really
they help.
come in
They
handy.
help you. Yeah.
You know, maybe I should create that business course. It's out there, and for counseling programs, help them get that money. So yeah, I think that is another difficulty that I had with that. But what would you say is the one thing, if not just one, but the thing that you're like, I'm so glad I took this because, or I took this leap of faith because what?
I'm so glad that I took this leap of faith because it allowed me to prove that I can do it. Because one of my values is freedom, but also empowerment. Like, I empower other people. Like, I'm like, so you gotta empower yourself. You can do this. And as I said a few minutes ago, it has really grown my faith.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
What about you?
I'm really glad I took this leap of faith because I believe I am a better version of me today. And I value that. I value feeling good about who I am in most of my roles. Yeah. You know,
so it gave me that.
Yeah, it gave me that. I did not for a while like who I was in roles, right? Like I felt like I wasn't being able to give friends, family, myself, whatever, clients even at that time, even though I was, you know, working a good version of me. And so now I feel like most days you're gonna get a pretty lighthearted, laughing, cool as what version of me.
The true version of you.
I know I'm a really nice person. Okay?
She really is.
Just to let you all know that. So another thing that I would probably encourage anyone who is definitely looking to do some form of entrepreneurship is, Bae. I always like to shout out Bae because, you know, they're amazing. That's our empowerment group, and getting not only a mentor, but maybe having a group of women that you meet with on a regular basis that have vision, have purpose, you know, encouragers and things like that you can talk to and share ideas with, and who are there to lift you up and you lift them up. You know, pouring into each other's cups. I think that reciprocity is very important, and I think that has been valuable for them. Hopefully, y'all would say for y'all. And
they just come along. They just come along with us.
But that's been like a really big piece
that's been very supportive and helpful
in this process. And I think too, when you find like-minded people, you get the opportunity to do things like this.
Yes, collaborations
where you get to do brown girl banter and things of that sort. And you're like, oh, what about this and this and this? Because you all have similar vision. So that's an amazing piece of that when you connect with people too.
That are doing similar things.
Right. Don't try to build something in isolation.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's one of the things that you hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about is that our private practitioners, they talk about the loneliness and the isolation of being in business or being in practice by themselves unless they're part of a group practice. And then even sometimes when they're part of the group practice, they are so busy seeing clients that they don't get to connect with the people in the office. But yes, get you a group of friends, because like we're forever getting together for lunch or I'm very mindful of like groups. Like I said, I have a business coach, but we also have a VIP group that I'm part of through my business coach, that I get to connect with other women that are building their business.
I think that's amazing. I think the last thing I got, and I'm really done, y'all, is never stop learning. Like,
No,
I feel like
you have
there
to.
is so much opportunity out there for you to continue to, grow your craft and your business and what you want that to look like, and, learn the next new hottest thing. Even
Yes,
if you
you
feel
have to
it's
stay on
trendy, go learn it.
Because it helps you to grow.
it helps you to grow and be marketable.
Yes, most definitely.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's a gazillion people out there doing the same thing as you. So
But
what makes you different?
yes.
And why should we come to you for whatever it is that
Yes.
you're doing? And so I think that you have to really work hard to stay on top of things
So what
and
makes
learn
you
new
stand out?
things and speak well and be versatile in what it is that you do. Like,
Yes, so
I think
people
that's
can
important.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have not checked out the Netflix documentary, she did that. Check it out. It's really good. The young lady that put it together, she talks to about 5 different entrepreneurs, and some people you will know when she, as she talks to them and they talk about their journey. Like the Lisa Price, Carol's daughter, she talks her journey. She talks about, and then her husband chimes in and talks about how things were at home during this time. And then we have Lovey, the young lady that did the lip bar.
Oh, yeah.
In Target, and she talks about
Lip bar.
how she got into Target. It's a very good, and it's like a little over an hour. It's not too much over an hour, but it's a very good documentary.
Amazing. So check it out. We encourage that. Well, you got anything else for our Brown Girl Banter group?
No, as always, subscribe.
That's all we ask of you. Hello.
And follow us on Instagram at I am Brown Girl Banter, and you can follow me at I am Dr. Dangerfield.
And I am Dr. Patience. Be sure to follow us. Be sure to share. Be sure to comment, all of the things. We love the feedback. We love to hear that you're watching us and that you can relate, and you've had experiences that are similar or different. And I always say, especially on YouTube, where underneath the video, post
comments.
Your journey, what you learned. What did you learn through the process of becoming an entrepreneur, or what's your fear about becoming one? Somebody might have some words to really encourage and support you, or you might have something to give somebody else who's looking for it. So,
and shout out your business,
dude,
because we like to support. Let us know where we can find you on social media so we can follow you back.
Dude, you know what we're gonna do? Our Instagram post on our Instagram page.
We're gonna
make a post about it and allow people to put their business down there so people can get to know who you are.
Yes.
Y'all, and this month I am going to pub counseling with patients across social media. Boom. Boom. 2020 clear vision. Doing it. As always, we thank y'all so much for spending time with us today. So we will catch y'all on our next episode. Don't forget, 2 episodes a month now, and we will catch you on social media with the IGTV or something live or some way to catch up with us to see what we got going on for the rest of the month.
Yes.
Again, you all have a great day. Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye, Brown Girl Banter.